that brings me to a very important point. Marry a kind person. Marry a kind person. Marry a human being. Who actually helped me, or what actually helped me most was my husband, because he would take a greater portion of the responsibilities at the time. He would help me, even at a point in time he was admitted in the hospital, and he had to come home with a baby. And he was just about less than a week old at the time. And how many men can take care of a newborn baby? Taking care of a newborn baby and a sick wife at the same time. And sometimes he has to work also in the mornings. He was working from home, so he worked from home whilst the baby is also with him. So he took a lot of shock. He was like absorbing a lot of the shock from me. And most often also when I couldn't do it, like I felt like it's almost impossible, because I have a baby who needs me, and I have to write and publish a paper in a specific time frame. I feel like it's almost impossible, but you'll be like, babe, what's the plan? Let's have a plan. What do you need me to do? How can I help?
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 28 of the Diary Mom podcast. My name is Diana Ade. I am the founder and CEO of the Diary Mom. We inspire, educate and empower mothers who may be struggling to reclaim their dreams, or who may have temporarily set aside their ambitions due to the demands of motherhood. On the Diary Mom podcast, we bring you powerful stories from audacious mothers around the world who defy societal expectations and harness their strength to juggle both roles of motherhood and the pursuit of their personal and professional ambitions successfully. Before we begin today's conversation, I want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you to all of our new viewers, our new subscribers, and to all who have been with us from the beginning. I appreciate you all very much. And if you are new to our channel, please help us by hitting the subscribe button. This helps our channel to grow. Today's episode is the second part of our series, Doctor, Dreamer, Mother. We are honored to continue our conversation with our inspirational and ambitious mother, Dr. Loretta Bortey, all the way from the United Kingdom. Dr. Bortey is a Ghanaian scholar and advocate in the fields of artificial intelligence and machine learning. She recently graduated with a PhD from Birmingham University, where she focused on developing predictive models to enhance the health and safety of highway workers. Prior to her doctoral studies, Loretta completed an MSc in Big Data Technologies at Glasgow Caledonian University in 2020. During her time there, she ran for the position of Student Association President, an experience that bolstered her confidence and reinforced her belief in the attainability of her aspirations. Beyond her academic pursuits, Dr. Loretta Bortey is a mom and a wife to an honorable man. Her dedication to promoting diversity and inclusion in STEM led her to establish a foundation in Ghana aimed at inspiring young girls to pursue careers in STEM fields. Her efforts in this area were recognized when she received the Sir Lenny Henry Award for Diversity and Inclusion. Loretta's personal journey has been marked by resilience and determination. Despite facing challenges, including the loss of her mother at a young age, she has remained committed to her goals, crediting the support of family and friends for her successes. If you are ready for today's conversation, grab your pens and notebooks and join me as I speak to our special guest. Dr. Loretta, you have a very interesting story, and I'm happy to learn today that I've been a part of your journey, especially through university days, college days, and I'm so honored for this opportunity. And I'm honored I'm speaking to the future president of Ghana, Her Excellency. Her Excellency. That was a very important, thing that I wanted to touch on from that story. The fact that you wrote down you wanted to be an MP, and your teacher doubted you, but then you went back to change this and say, okay, this is too small for you. I'm going to raise the bar. Like, it's something that would break a lot of young girls, what the teacher did, because you want to be something and the teacher looks at you, you can't be. And I want to put this word out there for caregivers, guidance, parents, teachers out there, to be mindful of what we say to kids, to be mindful of the things that we say, because it can go a long way to either make or break them.
Yeah, it can. Yeah,
you had your grandmother who had already formed your basics or your foundation even before that incident. And so when that incident happened, instead of giving up and say, okay, my teacher thinks I cannot be an MP because I'm a woman, maybe I'm just gonna change my dream or whatever I want to be. Rather, you changed it and then made it something even bigger, and you still hold on to that dream today. It shaped how you even formed your friends, the people you have around you. And I've always known you to be in politics since you were in campus, even to the last elections we had in Ghana recently. So it's not surprising, and I'm so inspired that you turned it around, for something positive, and you're still holding on to that dream, even to your PhD interview. That was an interesting one. That was an interesting one. So this is a word to every caregiver out there. Let's speak positively into the lives of our children, because whatever it is you're saying to them, you are planting a seed that's going to go, a long way. And I salute your grandmother's memory wherever she is, because and that piece you said about written documentation, it's very, very key, because whatever it's written, as long as it's written down, it can be held against you. But she didn't think you did anything wrong. It's like, okay, because you were saying the right thing. But we are just in a society where when you come out to say the right thing, it's like, okay, why are you saying this? And you are a child, especially when you were a kid. So you had a lot of courage, a lot of confidence to get up and say, call the teachers out to what they were doing, and they didn't like it. So you didn't get suspended because you did something wrong. It's because you're speaking up, for something, about something that wasn't right in society, and you got suspended for it. But I'm happy you still have been able to hold yourself up, and you're still fighting, and you still have your dreams up. Nothing is going to stop you. And it's because your grandmother, gave you that strength, and that was good. So thank you for sharing that piece. I have learned a lot from that story. I've really learned a lot from that story, and I'm looking forward to you becoming the president one day. And I'm also going to say I'm proud that I've interviewed the future president of Ghana, right? I want us to pivot to motherhood, PhD, and being a mother. How has it been like for you? Because currently you are away from home. You're pursuing your PhD in a country that is away from home. And I know the dynamics are a bit different from what we have back home. Back home, we have a lot of support from, family, friends when we make babies. But then if you're in a foreign country, the support is kind of like minimal. So how did you manage to navigate all that and still, tell us a bit about your motherhood experience combined with...
So, first, when I started a PhD, I started as a single woman. I got married, and then I got pregnant, and now in the contract, I had seen that I was entitled to 6 months leave, so it wasn't an issue for me at a time. But after I had gotten pregnant and I was about to deliver, I tried to talk about my leave, and then I came to the realization that as an international student, if I decide to take my leave, I would have to go back to Ghana, pack everything back to Ghana. After the 6 months, I would have to reapply for the visa and come and continue the studies. It means they are terminating my visa if I decide to go on the 6 months leave, which was like basically impossible, because when you leave Ghana, you've left everything. Like, you don't have any anything back home that you are going to.
Yeah.
You don't have a place to stay. You don't have anything. So it means that that's extra cost that you are going to have to incur back home. And you have to live everything. My life, everything has been here for the past 5 years. So at the time, so there was really nothing back home. So I was like, okay, it means that I cannot get access to that maternity leave, right? So that brings me to a very important point. Marry a kind person. Marry a kind person. Marry a human being. Seriously. Because honestly, this whole journey of motherhood, my PhD, especially after I became a mother, I couldn't have done it without my husband. I couldn't have done it if I had married someone else or anybody who was the traditional kind of man, who feels that it is a woman's duty to do this or a woman's duty to do that. So after I gave birth, I actually went through a cesarean session. So I was in that healing phase. Luckily, I had my pseudo mom here, an auntie here who came to help me. The first week she came, Auntie Mary, she came, helped me, and then the next week, Auntie Becky also came to help me. So for like that first 2 weeks, I had their help, and I'll always be grateful for that. But that's the 2 weeks that my husband also had paternity leave. So after 2 weeks, he goes back to work, right? And then imagine with a wound, your husband going back to work, and then a baby that you have to take care of. So sometimes he'll be crying and I'll be crying too. What's the world like that will be crying? Whoever will cry, whoever will cry, will be dying to stop this.
You cry, I cry, you're just sitting.
Yes. You say I'm lying. No, but I lie. I'm not lying. That's it. So who actually helped me, or what actually helped me most was my husband, because he would take a greater portion of the responsibilities at the time. He would help me, even at a point in time he was admitted in the hospital and he had to come home with a baby. He was just about less than a week old at the time. And how many men can take care of a newborn baby? It's not like he has done it before. This is his first time also. But he went home with him. He was taking care of him, feeding him. He would bring him to the hospital together, taking care of a newborn baby and a sick wife at the same time. And sometimes he has to work also in the mornings. He was working from home. So he worked from home whilst the baby is also with him. So he took a lot of shock. He was like absorbing a lot of the shock from me. And most often also when I couldn't do it, like I felt like it's almost impossible because I have a baby who needs me and I have to write and publish a paper in a specific time frame. I feel like it's almost impossible, but you would be like, babe, what's the plan? Let's have a plan. What do you need me to do? How can I help? And I'll try and see as much as possible. Normally, I am a nocturnal person, and he is a morning person, luckily. So I'll just tell him, okay, what I need you to do is in the morning, just take care of baby for me, because I'll work throughout the night. And in the morning, I wouldn't be able to wake up early. So in the mornings, he would take over the reins, he would take care of him, combining it with work at the same time. And then when I wake up, I come back and then take over. So in the night, I would just be working throughout. I could work like 12 hours straight in the night, 6 hours straight in the night. So far as it's night, I'll just work through it and write as much as I can write. Because I don't know when next. Sometimes too, For a newborn mother, the hormones are actually finding their way. Yeah, they are also finding their way because you will be hungry, you'll be sleepy, you'll be sad, you'll be moody. Like everything was just at the point that I didn't know what I was doing because everything just seemed like this is just an impossible task. But he was always there with you can do it. Like just
Sorry.
just go to, and you see, he actually had or has so much faith in me that I actually have in myself. So sometimes when I'm doing something, I'm looking forward to hearing him say, "Well done, yes, I told you you can do it." So that encouragement he gives me and those commendations he gives me after I get it done is something I would look forward to. So it would like motivate me to actually do it and do it well. So, for example, if I have a competition that I have to go and do, I know my husband, if I should win that competition, he would shut down social media. He would tell everybody, my wife won this. And so, if I'm looking forward to what he's going to write, he's a PR person and he writes very well. So, if I'm looking forward to his next write-up, then it means I have to win that competition.
Yeah.
So, I will try and do whatever I can in my power to win. And glory be to God, whatever competition I've gone into, I end up winning the competition. And I get my commendations. So my number one support system has been my husband since day one. That is why it's not like by accident or by just saying a formality that I decided that I'm dedicating my PhD to him, because he has been like my support system in a foreign land, giving birth with nobody. It's already a huge task because you have to be there for your baby. There's no one there for you. It's just you and your baby. Do your emotions, do your hunger, do everything. It's just you and your baby. And sometimes, this place, their food, I don't remember the last time I even ate their food. I cook almost every day because we eat our own local food all the time. So everything is you. You are a new mother. And you are adding it with academics. That's on another good level also. So for me, I have been fortunate by God's grace. God has been gracious to me that he looked at all the broken roads that I was on and just directed those broken roads right to my husband. Because if it hadn't been for him, he has been like my support system throughout this PhD. Sometimes there were things that I didn't think was possible. I didn't feel was possible, but he always found a way. And luckily also I had a supervisor who was also very, very good to me. Because even when I was not able to take my maternity leave, he was able to restructure my studies in a way that I'm still finished on time. And I finished before the 4 years was over. I finished in 3 years. And this was even with the whole motherhood journey, not taking maternity leave and everything. So I'm sure even if I hadn't gone through that, I might have even finished in 2 years.
Yeah.
So my supervisor was also like a great instrumental person in my finishing my PhD. So if you want to be a mother and do your PhD, you need 3 things. You need God. You need God's focus, because he's the only one who can give you and plant and water that seed in you, because that's the most important.
Yeah.
Number 2, you need a support system.
Yeah.
Whether it's your mother, your father, your boyfriend, your sister, your sibling, whoever it is. But if it is your husband, marry a kind person. Make sure you marry, no matter what. Just know that if you're an ambitious woman, you only have 2 options. To marry a man who will support your dreams, or not marry at all. That's the only two options you have. Either you are getting somebody who is kind enough to support your dreams, or you're not marrying at all. Unfortunately, that's a burden every ambitious woman will have to carry, unless you don't have ambition. And number three, you need a supervisor who will look out for you. PhD, your supervisor is like the main focal point of everything. So you don't have to take it for granted when you are actually scouting for a PhD supervisor. You need to make them also prove themselves to you before you start your PhD. And one thing about a PhD, it is not about being the most intelligent. Trust me, the dumbest and daftest person can do a PhD. I always say that. Because a PhD is not about being wise, being intelligent. It's about being somebody who is dedicated enough to persevere. PhD is about perseverance. Putting your and commitment, putting your mind to something and finishing it. Telling yourself, I'm going to finish this thing. Because no matter how dumb you are, excuse me to use that language, even that's in the extreme cases, that's what I'm trying to say. Even that, if you have put your mind to something that you want to do it, and you are committed and dedicated to it, you would achieve it. So, PhD, that's the critical focus of PhD. Being somebody who can persevere to the end. Being somebody who can say, I want to do this, and then you do it. You look at it and you do it to the end. And you have to choose something, a PhD or a topic or a project that you are passionate about. Because at a point in time, when everything is lost and nothing makes you want to continue, it is that passion you have for that project. That's the only thing that will make you want to do it. And for me, I just had that passion for that project. It wasn't about a PhD, it was about this particular PhD project I wanted to do. I was very much passionate about doing this one. So it kept me going. So that's if my advice to anybody who wants to do a PhD, whether you're a mother, whether you are not a mother, it's not about being the most intelligent. You don't have to be the most intelligent. You have to be the one who can persevere till the end. That's what I'm saying.
You made a statement that was very profound. You said, if you're an ambitious woman and you want to pursue your PhD or you're an ambitious woman, something like that, you have two options. You either have to marry a kind person or choose not to marry at all. That hit home hard, because for a lot of, I've seen women who, have soared higher because of the kind of husbands they have. They swear by their husbands that I couldn't have gone through this PhD program without my husband's support, right?
Yeah.
Then I've also, gotten to know women who were very ambitious, but because the partners they had, everything just like went down because they didn't have that support, So at some point that some women choose not to even pursue partnerships, because if they are not finding the right partner, then they might as well just go solo and pursue their dreams, and that is something you have, like, you just touched on, so then it's about time society accepts maybe like a woman who decides to go solo or be single for some reason. Maybe she's waiting, maybe she hasn't found the right mate yet or right partner yet, that all those dynamics, because sometimes the pressure from society to also settle down can make it look as if, even though maybe like she hasn't found her man yet, her kind man yet, or her gentleman yet, so she's waiting, but we have all these other pressures coming from different angles of society. Hurry up and get married, hurry up and do this, and then some would fall for that pressure and settle with the wrong person, and then you before you know, oh, this, I used to know this girl or this woman who was very ambitious. What happened to her?
Yeah,
You
what
know, but
happened to her?
what happened to her? You know, it's because she got in you know, involved with the wrong partner, and you know, things up. So thank you for really touching on that, because it's real. You know, it's very real. And you also mentioned, if you know, if you are scouting for a PhD supervisor, make them prove themselves to you. That's a big one. That's a big one you
Yeah.
just said.
I actually asked my supervisor in the interview. I said, excuse me, sir, a PhD is like a marriage commitment. It's like a marital commitment. So I'm going to be with you in the next 4 years. So how committed are you to me? And why should you be my PhD supervisor? And he was like, oh, I can. Luckily for me, I have another student of mine. So the one person who was also in the interview, he's also a doctor. He was his student. So he said, okay, I'll just leave that for him to answer. And the doctor, his Dr. Chris, he became my second supervisor. He said very good things about him. And he himself was a testament to the fact that he had supervised him, and today he's a doctor. He's also interviewing me. So that was enough proof for me. So he proved himself that he was also good enough to be.
Loretta, you have a lot of confidence.
Oh yeah.
No. Let me backtrack. You were interviewing as an international student.
Yeah.
And then you had the courage to say, okay, you proved yourself to me before I even accept you as my supervisor.
Yeah. But you need to prove yourself. You see, every job we have made it. We are in a society where we've made it look like when you are going to work for somebody, then you need to like
shrink yourself.
Yes, you need to go by a certain rule so that the person would choose you. But what about you? You are supposed to also be the one choosing the person, because it depends on the value you put on yourself. That's the thing. It's the value you put on yourself.
Yeah.
At every point in time, you have to know the value you put on yourself.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, there are certain jobs I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
No matter how much you are paying me for, I wouldn't do those jobs because it might not be the right fit for me. It's not. It comes to a point in your life where, because of the kind of value you put on yourself, it's not about money. No, it's not about money. It's about you as an individual, the kind of value you have put in yourself. But Diana, this is me. I've gone to the interview and I've told you that I'm going to be the president of Ghana one day. At that point in time, I've already told you in your mind that I am a very big person.
I'm a big woman. I'm a big woman.
Yes, I've already told you that. So you have to also prove yourself to me. But that's on the long term. But on a more serious note, you need to find a supervisor or a boss who also fits into your dreams.
Into your dreams, what you want to do. Yeah, because that I mean, those two things you mentioned are big. The right partner, life partner in terms of, you know, relationships, and then your supervisor or your boss that you work for. Because if you have a boss that doesn't really value what you value, or doesn't support your ambitions, your career dreams, your career goals, everything, they're going to make things difficult for you.
You always stifle your growth.
You'll stifle your
People
growth.
like that will stifle
Yeah,
your growth.
yeah. Wow. These are big gems you've just dropped. Thank you for sharing that piece. Thank you so much for sharing that piece. And I want to move our conversation to a close. I feel like I can just keep talking with you, but I want to come to your foundation. You have a foundation for young girls who are pursuing STEM. Can you tell us about that? What inspired you to even start the foundation, and how far have you gone with that?
Yeah, so I started paying interest in IT because I realized that it wasn't really about girls not being capable enough to go into IT. They were just not, they didn't have like the blueprint to look at. They didn't have enough representation in the IT space to say that I want to be like this person or I want to be like this person. So because of that, they were going to what they could relate to. For example, they see doctors, they see lawyers who are women. but they don't see most engineers or
Engineers who are
IT people who are women. So because of that, they don't develop the interest at an early stage to say they want to go into IT. So that is what I realized, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this foundation. I'm going to target girls in primary schools, and I'm going to do a club that they will join. So it's just like a club. They join, it's optional, and we just discuss and talk about IT and what it is about. And I try as much as possible. Anytime I'm in Ghana, I show up myself, and then I have talks with them. I teach them what they are supposed to do. And so right now, it's just like 2 clubs in some schools, in just 2 schools. I'm hoping to expand it and then make other schools also have that club and then get it. But then I'm also introducing teens in AI. That's to encompass both boys and girls, and that's going from just primary to this junior high school level also, so that they get the interest in AI, in IT at a very early stage, so that they would also want to do something in machine learning or AI or data science in the near future, because how the future is going, everything is like evolving into that space right now. We need more women. And they say catch them young, right?
Right.
So we're trying to catch them young at the moment. Yeah.
Catch them young. And you being a very young woman and being a doctor, computer doctor, AI doctor at this one. I'm saying computer doctor back to your grandmother's thing.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to be a very big inspiration for these young girls who see you, and it's like you've made them understand that everything is possible, because you've weathered many storms and you're still standing and you're still grinding and you're still thriving, and making them know that it is possible, winning big and putting your name out there. You are a big inspiration for girls, for women, for everybody, society at large. And I want to say thank you for not giving up on yourself. Thank you for not giving up on your ambitions to become the president of Ghana someday. And it's possible at this point. It's possible because we just had a first female vice president. That's like a big one. It had never happened in the history.
Years ago, we thought it couldn't happen.
We all thought it was never possible, but she made it possible. So I think the first time when she became and we are talking about Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman, right? The current vice president of Ghana. We salute you wherever you are. She's become an inspiration for all of us. We know it is possible. Many girls now know that we can all get to that height, and then you are coming in as like the biggest, like at the top, the big boss, like the excellency, right? And I want to say thank you for holding on to that dream. It's gonna come true one day. Whatever your grandmother said came through. So whatever you are telling yourself, it's also gonna come true, one day. And I've learned so much from your story in terms of mindset. Whatever you tell yourself, that is what is going to drive you, what is going to shape you. So speak positively to yourself, affirm yourself, and surround yourself with the right people. It
doesn't cost anything to dream. It doesn't. Your dream remains here, right? But then that's what is going to push you in everything you are doing. So if it doesn't cost you to dream, why should you dream small?
Why do you have to dream when you can dream big? When you can dream big, and you have that guts to push back if somebody tries to stand in your way, somebody tries to make you feel like you cannot become. Why can't you become this? Your grandmother told you why. Like, there's so much inspiration from your story. Why can't you become this? Why are you pushing others? Why not you? You can become whatever you choose to be at any point in time on any given day. You just have to go for it. Dream big and go for it. And I'm so happy you're giving back to society through your foundation, empowering these girls, letting them know that it is indeed possible. Whenever some of us come together, we'll come and add our voice to it. It is possible. I want to say thank you, Loretta. Are there, as I try to wrap up, are there any final words from you to mothers out there, to young women out there, to girls out there who are listening, even to men, to the boys, the teens, because you're doing this for teens? What is your final word to everybody listening?
To the mothers out there, I would say the best gift you can give to your child is not letting motherhood stop you from being what you want to be. Because if you will let motherhood come in the way of your dream and use that as the reason you haven't been able to be what you want to be, then in the end, you will transfer some nuggets, little ones, to your child, because you will feel at a point in time, and you will say it sometimes to your child, if not that I gave birth to you, I would have been this, or I might have been this.
Yeah.
So the best gift you can give to your child is to not let motherhood be the reason you cannot be what you want to be. Any other reason, not motherhood. Yeah. Also, my advice is that the best bet you can make on anything is a bet on yourself. There are a lot of things you can't control, but there's one thing that you can control, and that is yourself. Yeah. You can control yourself. So when you are placing a bet on something, place that bet on yourself and make sure that it is worthwhile, because no one in this world, no one can ever do for you better than you can do for yourself. Better than you can do for yourself. No one can help you more than you can help yourself. So always place that bet on yourself. Thank you.
I said thank you. We are done. Done. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Dr. Loretta Bortey, or Bortey Kubate. I don't know how you mix your name, but I want to say thank you so much. I can say, maybe I wouldn't want to say youngest AI doctor, but maybe you're one of the youngest we have around, and I'm so proud of you, Dr. Loretta. You made all of us proud when you put it out there. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Dr. Loretta. I was screaming. I was like, girl, you did it. You made it happen, all while breastfeeding, all while taking care of your young kid. And it's so beautiful. And throughout this interview, we want to say that, you heard all those little noise in the background. This is the show for mothers. So you would hear some kids in the background. Her kids popped up. My kid popped up, and it's all part of the show. It's all part of us telling you that motherhood is not going to stop you from doing what you have to do. If you have to stand out there and then speak to inspire somebody, you have to go out there and do it, because it is what it is. It's part of this journey called motherhood. I want to say thank you, Loretta. Thank you so much for coming to the Dairy Mom. You are indeed the Dairy Mom, and I know lots of mothers are going to get inspiration from your story. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
Wow, what a powerful conclusion to our series, Dr. Dreamer Mother. Dr. Loretta Bortey's story is full of inspiration, power, and purpose. I really hope you enjoyed this series, and I also hope you learned some valuable lessons from her story. Let us know what stood out for you in the comment section. For me, she said the best person to bet on is yourself, and you shouldn't hold yourself back from dreaming big. Dream as big as you can, because certainly you can achieve it. This brings us to the end of this series. Next Sunday, we'll bring you another inspiring story from another mother. Be sure not to miss it. We want to thank you for staying with us up until this point. If you want to connect with Dr. Loretta Bortey, you'll find her on Facebook or LinkedIn at Loretta Bortey. You'll find the links to her pages in the description of this video. If you want to connect with the Dairy Mom, you'll find us on Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn at the Dairy Mom. And on Instagram, you find us at @the Dairy Mom. We are also happy to announce that our blog has been launched. Visit thedairyMom.com/blog for more inspiring stories. Thank you so much for staying with us today. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. This helps our channel to grow. Thank you all once again for joining us. And as I wrap up, my question to you is, what is your hashtag, the Dairy Mom story? Join me and let's do this together. My name is Diana Ade, and I am the Dairy Mom.